tend to not realize until it's too late that we're losing something. Saltmarsh sparrows are among the first breeding bird species that could be a casualty of sea level rise. And they're telling us we need to do something to protect this habitat, not just for them, but for human beings that tend to live on coastlines. I kind of like it actually when they do get mad and kind of bite at my fingers though, because I don't know. Like, yeah, will to live, feisty. Welcome to the marsh. My name is Sam Apgar. I'm a wildlife biologist. There is development all around us, commercial development, a power plant. We are on a railroad, there are planes going overhead, and yet in the midst of all that, there is a tidal marsh right here on both sides of us, which is a coastal habitat that is inhabited by a very rare species called the saltmarsh sparrow, which we came out here to study today. I think we're gonna catch both of them today. The saltmarsh sparrow is a small orange-faced songbird. The species has declined by about 9% per year since the 90s. Saltmarsh sparrows are prioritized as an at-risk species. We often refer to the saltmarsh sparrow as a canary in the coal mine because they are the first of these species who are declining quickly from sea level rise. They're a signal to us that we need to do a lot of work to conserve this habitat for the species that live there and for the people in urban centers that are right nearby these marshes that protect them too. They're used to nest flooding, but not at this rate. If you're a bird with your nest really close to the ground and there's just an inch more of water coming up, that could mean life and death for this fragile nest. Marshes are not for the faint of heart. There are a lot of really big, wide ditches that we had to cross and channels, so kind of hopscotching across islands of rooted vegetation, and we had a couple people go over it. That's a marsh wren. Tidal marshes are super important for lots of reasons to coastal communities, including New York City, which is a coastal community, including carbon storage and habitat for wildlife and other species, and storm surge protection for cities. It does look and smell like a whoopee cushion. When we mist net for birds in tidal marshes, we set up a temporary banding station where we have a tarp laid out, we have our banding gear, we have a couple of chairs laid out just like this one, and we have a beach umbrella set up behind us so that we can shade the birds from direct sunlight. To understand how many females and juveniles are at a site, we need to put out nets to capture them with poles and nets and set up 2 arrays of 6 12-meter long mist nets to form kind of a wall of nets that we would then, every about 30 minutes, walk towards clapping to spook the birds up and into the nets so we could capture them. And we did this for a 3-hour period. You would think that people would have called in about these people walking around in the marsh, or it's like, are they lost? Are they okay? Sometimes there's a little bit of, I don't know what you'd call it, finesse in capturing the birds. Yay! Federally, they're not currently listed, but they are being evaluated for whether they should fit the criteria to be listed as endangered, threatened, or not warranted under the Endangered Species Act. And one of the big ways we're doing that is by collecting a lot of data on them, a lot of information to understand what restoration tactics, so how we can modify marshes to flood less often and be more resilient, how that will also help the saltmarsh sparrow. Saltmarsh sparrow, hi, how are you doing? The mist netting, we're really curious, getting a snapshot of productivity, nest survival, as indicated by the number of breeding females. 9.1, 2, and then we let them go from there. I do get sad about these birds. You have to compartmentalize and then just realize that you're doing your best to keep around the beautiful biodiversity that we have on this planet and that we want to keep on this planet.